Well, people, I can't impress you too much with my guitar playing. Hey everybody, it's Guy again. Yes, I'm a tired guy, but I'm here, I'm alive. It's a Wednesday, February 24, 2021. And I've been a little bit remiss in communicating. I don't know, it's been 2021, we're about 2 months into it. And I'm kind of feeling, I don't know, a little bit like ragged and trying to get my vitality together and energy. And I was just thinking, am I going to have to wait till my next incarnation before I ever feel rested again? Anyway, that's why they put the rest in peace thing on the tombstones for us old people. We get to finally rest. But I'm still alive, and there are things to do. It's a good time to be alive, to be now, to be. Every time I get out there in the world, finally, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're whatever, doesn't matter. You're alive. So I wanted to, on this February 24th, try to catch up a little bit. I really have been like completely resisting even opening up a computer, newspapers. I had a neighbor in a friendly manner kind of scold me for like bringing home like a New York Times, a Chronicle, and an IJ all under my arm. And like, why? You don't have to read those newspapers, Guy. Like, why are you filling yourself up with this emptiness that you can never, like what are you really learning? Every day you have to learn. What are you learning? I mean, I guess it's important. So meanwhile, I still have this concept, this plan, and I'm going to go through with it, even if this is whatever. I'm going to go through with this whole thing of the tree party, and I'm going to reaffirm some of the principles of the tree party here today. I'm been boldly, foolishly, ridiculously foolishly, thinking about running for governor if this whole recall thing comes to pass, and even if it doesn't, I just don't know. Sometimes I get frustrated in trying to get my interviews together, and the resistance that people have of talking to me, either because they're not sure where like I'm coming from, or I'm not professional enough, or I get this thing like, well, please present your questions first, so we can see what you're going to present. And I like to wing it. I like to be able to go wherever I go. So let's just get back to the tree party. The concept of the tree party, for me, is a vehicle to restore and regain or to establish a foothold on the planet of people who not only see our surrounding nature out there and how beaten, how abused by humanity it is. And I know it's also part of this great infinity of resilience, etc. But it feels to me that there's no integrity behind an environmental movement unless it has the notion of that it starts with the individual. I feel like it's just a shell game, a vacuum-headed. Jimi Hendrix said, "Do I see a vacuum there, or am I going blind?" In that same little tune he also spoke about. I want to see and hear. And I want to see the new Mother Earth. Jimmy, thank you. So the tree party is I'd like to see it as initially a party in California, but really it's a party for the whole planet. And I think the word party is very important because it's got to be fun. It's got to be happening. It's got to be like an option of feeling great. But the first important point of the tree party is that we extricate ourselves out of this concept of humanity and this economy thing that sustains us, this notion that it has to keep growing bigger and in order for us to survive. And that's, to me, it's utter childish foolishness, doesn't make any sense. It's by growing bigger, we're just increasing the problem of we're just it doesn't work. We take too much. We're ruining our happiness. It's not fun when you're one of 1,000 people trying to get to the beach. There's something wrong with that. Too much of us. We're beautiful. The children are beautiful. But what would it be if we if they had more room? And it's okay to talk about it. That's really number one, the end to the growth model. Sustainable population, a stable population, shall we say. And how do you sustain an economy with a stable population? As Wall Street thinks that everything has to keep growing in order to keep things profit growing. It doesn't work that way. Do we have that yet? Principle, tree party. 1, we're not going to grow forever. We're going to be stable. We might even reduce the population simply by letting nature take its course, and children growing up and deciding to have children having 2 children. That's what we're all about here. We're just children having children. And the circle of life, would be principle number 2, I would say, in the tree party, though, I don't know. This all can be worked on when we have the first big convention. I hope we have it in Sacramento in a couple of months. Though you're hearing about it first right now. The circle of life. The circle of life is sounds pretty, kumbaya and around the old campfire, and it's true. It is circle of life, and it is around the campfire. And I don't know anything about kumbaya, but it means that everybody gets to say their piece. Now, I have a lot of people, I would say friends. They haven't been deep friends, but I know it's a concept that people have rolling around in the back of their mind that somehow, some people, that there is a battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil on the planet. And one of the first things you get to do is identify yourself as one of the forces of good and identify all those people over there as the forces of evil. And apparently that's where both progressives and conservatives all seem to have a great harmony, is that they believe that it's you who are the problem. So the Tree Party is going to come from a different take, and it wants to hear everybody's story and have a sense of that no, if you want to stand on that side and declare us the Tree Party evil or whatever, you may, but we're going to just believe that you're also part of the circle of life too. And all this stuff is up for grabs in terms of how do we define or refine the Tree Party. Part of it, I think, is when, just in terms of politics, when we start looking for candidates, and it's going to happen like real soon, for every office on the planet should be a Tree Party person. That we have conventions. There are conventions. gatherings. And we don't just have some fool with a lot of money, like me. I'm winking. That's a wink, laugh. Who just declares themselves a candidate, like I have possibly. I think I'm going to announce my running for governor next week or two. Yes, guy, the fool that I am. But anyways, we'd have a convention. And we would, I kind of see it with a little bit of a cross between Woodstock and 1776. Good-spirited, conversations around the dinner table, make it last 3 days, and by the time the whole thing is over, with good music and beer every evening, dancing, on the last days, you come together and you all vote for your candidate. Some of your friends that you've met at this party, you're it. That's the tree party. Nonviolent rule, that's another thing. We're going to this planet of, you know, we're going to blow ourselves up. Is that really the game? Is that just to carry our guns and scare other people into submission? Or just kill them? Or do we have another way on the planet? And I think it's obviously we've had another way open to us for a long time. We don't quite seem to have put it all together yet. Anyways, nonviolence as a principle. And that would go like right with just ending being, stop being a civilization that breeds thieves and criminals. And how do we do that? It's a higher moral thing. It's power of music in the elementary schools throughout California, throughout the planet. Music, more important than guns. It's a power of communication and individual and community liberty. And that means that it's sort of an inverse of what's going on right now. Turning the world inside out, basically, is what I see the Tree Party doing. Turning the world inside out so that the weight or the power of life, it's really a wonderful thing to have a great deal of freedom. And we do have quite a bit here in the USA, but yet because of this system that we've evolved, it's really, to me, very hard to know freedom when we're so removed from just being able to have a home, that you're not continually on this financial treadmill of, I'm not sure, am I speaking to potentially communistically? Some people think I'm a fascist. I don't know what that all that stuff is. I just believe in liberty, and but communities have to come together, and that's us. We gotta sustain and support each other and get it through. In the meantime, 13 minutes and 25 seconds have gone by of me chattering about the Tree Party, making a hint about the governorship. I haven't paid attention to Biden much. Has it been an end to divisiveness? I don't see too much of that coming through. The exercise in chasing down extremists, ridding them of out of the army. What does that mean? One man's extremist is another man's extremist. Biden's getting rid of extremists is different from Trump's getting rid of extremists. What is an extremist? And that brings out that Jefferson quote about how we gotta, if you have faith in liberty, which, I don't know, with a certain hypocrisy that goes along with our origins, and it's taken a while to get rid of that physical slavery. It still exists in parts of the world, I'm told. But now we have this sort of legal bondage of this system, and you can't impose a new system. You got to grow one, and that's back to the Tree Party, and we got to grow one. Okay, cheers everybody. Have a great day. Out of here.